had this professor who told us a story about a movie he saw a long time ago, and the professor he took the narrative seriously about how there are so many soldiers in the world, and in the old days there were few soldiers, but I was okay. We know that, so what? And then I got this that academics, and I don't know if this is objective, uh, they are trying to domesticate the mind of the helpless students, and that's the problem with rigid system. Uh, they confuse obedience with knowledge, but experimentalism offers another way of understanding, and it's a method that relies on approaching problems and things in a dynamic and flexible manner rather than pursuing fixed truth or simplifying complexity. Isn't merely random experimentation. It's engaging in a living relationship with the problems themselves, transforming concerns into examinable questions and opening the way for creative rethinking. And knowledge here isn't fixed or final. It evolves through interaction between the researcher and the subject, and sometimes between the self and the world. Uh, like science and art, they grow not by reducing everything to clarity, but by more embracing complexity and surprise. Even the role of tools and technologies in shaping how we see. And this is why academia so often feels lifeless. The system is rigid. Students, and sometimes even students, only move from one place to another, like recycling the same words, like two imperfect minds bouncing off each other, not creating anything new. And and exactly like what Leibniz talked about centuries ago. Uh, like a two same things like cannot create like something new. Like they are just fighting over who's gonna win, and this is seems so hopeless. And it becomes a conversation without invention, so talking without solutions, just repetition in a bad way. And that's why I avoid academic discussions, because they don't open my mind. Instead, they only domesticate it. And to be honest, that's why I do more cinema, or I lean too much towards cinema, because cinema speaks more than people do. Uh, let's take Fellini's 8.5 movie, and I hate to call this experimentation because the movie isn't built on straight story in general, but on the fracture of memory and the intermingling of dreams with reality. And it doesn't hand you a clean argument. It collapses dreams and memory, and failure and invention, and somehow through the chaos gives you an entirely new language to understand yourself. That's that's the experimentalism on screen, and it's it's the same with certain kind of books, like take take Urbanomic or Collective Ink as a few example for publication. They don't give you glossy pictures to copy. They they don't ask you to consume. a prepackaged answer. They demand that you build your own text, that you push your own understanding further instead of copy and paste. They 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 kind of force you like to write alongside them, to experiment. And 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 experimentalism just just means not marching in the line like a soldier, but it's about breaking out of strict patterns and instead stepping into into a space where mistakes can lead somewhere new, where complexity isn't a problem but something um, to work with, where your mind actually engaged with the world instead of being forced into rules, whether it's in science or art or whatever, like the field you are into. But and it's about making things up as you go, living as if life itself is an experiment. And and this is what experimentalism is about. Like, it's more, and it works more good when it comes like to individuals, because it's more an act of individualism